the importance of Little Big Planet. But before I start, I just want to express my feelings towards PlayStation right now because things are getting a little out of hand. And yeah, there's been a lot of PlayStation drama going on, and yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna be. I think those are the two things I'm gonna be talking about. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about my feelings towards PlayStation. So ever since the PS5 generation hit the scene, a lot of people were buying them, but PlayStation 5's only released once a week or once a month, and they're actually like really hard to get. I don't know if there's actually one console at per store or something, but they were like getting very expensive, and PlayStation 5 was actually the most trending console of all time. But then things got a little downhill because they were pouring obsolete games like open world games like Ghost of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Horizon, and it kind of and I didn't really like that very much. I started to hate open world games when I when my uncle told me that the shutdown of 3DS and Wii U services were going were going to be shut down for good, and yeah, that's how I started to develop the hate of newer generation games. That doesn't mean that I actually hate the PS5 or anything, because heck, I even have a PlayStation 5 myself, but I don't really play it that much because there's no good game. I mean, you might be asking, actually, no. I mean, as a matter of fact, I do have Elden Ring, but I know you might be asking me, why don't you play Elden Ring? Well, I hate Elden Ring, and I regret picking it up, and I don't want to play it ever again because of how much I hate it. But that's not all, though. They were pouring out obsolete PlayStation exclusive games, and a lot of people are complaining about it. Like Helldivers, for example. I think it was actually a PlayStation exclusive game, but a lot of people were complaining about it, and there was actually a bunch of hate going on. And not only that, but this also recently happened. I was watching YouTube TV. I mean YouTube on my TV, and then I saw this one video thumbnail of someone explaining the whole Concord shutdown situation. It's like, if you don't know what Concord is, it's basically like a shooting game or something. But then 2 weeks ago it actually got shut down. The reason being is because Concord was not selling like very well. It's like almost nobody actually heard about it, which I understand. But if you really wanted some attention, you could have actually just made commercials or ads of it on YouTube. But I completely get it. Okay, sorry about that. I was just running out of words to say. But yeah, my feelings towards PlayStation is extremely negative, and I'm still disappointed in them, and I'm still mad at them, all because of the Little Big Planet server shutdown. Um, last video or yesterday, I made a video about myself still being so sad about Little Big Planet. If you want to go watch that, there's a link in the description down below that'll take you there. But yeah. So ever since I don't need to explain this, but I kind of feel like I have to say it once more, because those of you who are new around here, ever since Little Big Planet got shut down for good, like all three servers, well, not really all three servers, but I'm talking about, but I'm losing. I'm sorry. But anyways, so ever since they shut down all three servers, 1 and 2 on PlayStation 3 had to be shut down for good in order to bring back Little Big Planet 3 on PlayStation 4. But then like on April 19th, 2024, that is when that is when they had to shut down for good, like indefinitely. If you don't know what the word indefinite means, it basically means forever. So, yeah. And let me tell you something, I was not taking that so well. I just thought life was over. It may not be the end of the world, but it's pretty much the end of all rational thought and creativity. So again, my feelings towards PlayStation, I just have very negative and harsh feelings towards PlayStation because they're kind of like Ubisoft, you know? If you thought Ubisoft was actually really bad, and they're pretty much just the grand champion of drama and like pouring a bunch of making a bunch of horrible games that people are complaining about, but PlayStation is far worse than Ubisoft. But yet I still play them, but I just really wish that PlayStation would actually reflect on their actions because my current liking of PlayStation right now and Sony has decreased ever since they shut down Little Big Planet. Um, so yeah, a lot of people a lot of people were not taking that very well. They were just expecting them to understand and accept the server shutdown, but a lot of people were not taking that very well. And I'm one of those people who were not taking them very well. I wish I could just go to the PlayStation and then scream at them and telling them that um, your company's falling down because of what you have done. So I hope you know that. And yeah, I get it. I get it. Listen, I get that. And PlayStation, I get it. I get that you have newer games and you want to focus on the next generation of gaming, but pulling the plug on Little Big Planet has crossed the line. So that's why we don't really care about the newer generation consoles anymore. We don't care about the new generation of gaming. There's a lot of nostalgia gamers out there. There are a lot of retro gamers, and I'm a retro gamer as well. I don't really care about the new ones. I really care about the old ones. Old is gold. But guess what? PlayStation still does not care. They basically pull through and they just don't let the haters affect them. They just can't, they're just PlayStation is just a self-centered company that doesn't really care about the haters, and they treat their old games like trash or like garbage. They just abuse them. And and yet they still keep some servers up like Killzone 2, Minecraft, like PlayStation 3 online servers in the online store, which by the way I do think that the PlayStation 3 online store will be going offline soon. I'm not too sure, but it is slowly dying. But speaking of the PlayStation 3 store, long time ago they were I think they did shut down the PlayStation 3 online store, but a lot of people were not taking that very lightly. So we're not taking that very lightly, and they weren't going to accept that. So they actually made a bunch of complaining, and yeah, they decided to keep the store up, but it's basically you know slowly dying. But enough about all that. Here I'm going, but I'll get into the next part right now, talking about the importance of Little Big Planet. For those of you who do not know who Little Big Planet or what Little Big Planet is basically a game. It's kind of like Roblox, but the main storyline is basically a 2D platformer game, and it's like very fun. The music is good, the levels are good, everything is good about Little Big Planet. And you can even and the main gimmick of the game is to play, create, and share. So that's when the online servers step in. But but it didn't last very long. Well, actually it did, but they only lasted for about 14 years. So, yeah. I'm running out of things to say. I'm sorry. If you'll give me one moment. And a lot of people were falling in love with Little Big Planet. They were just like a lot of a lot of new players were actually getting into the game. I'm not even joking. Like there were like thousands and thousands of people on playing Little Big Planet 1 or Little Big Planet 2. It's like it's like the Big Bang. Like there were like Little Big Planet made such a big impact on PlayStation and the whole gaming topic. And heck, and PlayStation even made Sackboy as PlayStation's mascot. And there was like a bunch of crossovers. There was like a bunch of successful stuff happening in Little Big Planet. And yeah. So what's important about Little Big Planet is you can actually put anything that you put your mind into, like 3D games, 2D platformer games, custom levels, movies, comics, cartoons, comic strips, costumes, statues, or anything that you put your mind into. And not only that, but it was also simple. Like let's say that you actually just wanted to, like, you know, just create a human. I know I'm saying, like, you know, a lot. I just can't really help myself, okay? I have autism, and that's why my mind is like very foggy. So yeah. So yeah, let's say that you wanted to create a human figure, and the first thing that you would actually need to do is just, it's like drawing, but you're only using a controller, not a pencil. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I have to say. And need I say anymore? But then Little Big Planet 3 hit the scene, and it was still successful, but there was actually a lot of complaining about. But they stopped updating the game ever since 2015. Ever since I think it was late 2015. I'm not too sure, but they were actually like, you know, stopping adding updates and new DLC costumes, and that's when people considered that Little Big Planet was dead. But it wasn't dead yet. People were still playing it. Even I was still playing it. And even I, you know, continued to make Pokemon cartoons and Pokemon costumes, and play a bunch of very fun levels about movies, or some very fun levels like shooters. I'm not sure. I'm kind of losing track of what I'm talking about here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much why Little Big Planet is important. Without it, without the online servers, the game is like pretty much pointless, and its main gimmick is to like play, create, and share. So yeah, that's pretty much the main importance of the importance of Little Big Planet. Now, before I end the video, I do have something to say to all of you PlayStation fans and Little Big Planet fans. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. We still have the courage, and we need to encourage PlayStation to at least bring back Little Big Planet, like all 3 games. I mean, the spin-off games would actually be fine, such as karting, PS Vita, PSP, but mainly the 3 games that I'm talking about. Little Big Planet 1, 2, 3, only on PS4. But this isn't over yet. Are we just gonna let Little Big Planet just sit there and die on its own? I mean, considering that it is dead, but are we just gonna roll over and move on and accept, like we all shouldn't do, if you're actually in the negative headspace? No! I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on Little Big Planet. I'm gonna be staying, and I'm gonna persevere, and I will continue to make videos on Little Big Planet, encouraging Sony to bring back Little Big Planet, and you should too. So yeah, I know that there's Little Big Planet private servers, but I don't care about that. It's cheating. I believe it's cheating. But are we just gonna stand there and let PlayStation do its own thing and fall off and actually pour obsolete open world games? No. I am not gonna let them stand there. I refuse to sit there and let that happen. So, yeah, I guess that's it. But to the people watching this, to the people watching this, we need to encourage and convince the Little Big Planet creators and PlayStation to at least bring. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But we need to. I'm sorry. Come on. But we need to convince them to bring back Little Big Planet. Who's with me?